Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the show. So today on the show I'm going to be reviewing this. This is the Canon F65. I'll also be reviewing the lens that I have it, which is the macro lens. It is 70 to 210 mil, 1.45 to 5.6. This lens has a zoom and focus lens, so nothing really amazingly special about it. It's a very basic lens, but I still really like it. One of the things that I actually did with this lens that I was kind of worried about was I went to a one-man show this weekend, and I was sitting pretty close, so one thing I was worried about was that this lens would be a little bit too big for kind of the portrait type shots, but I was able to get those portrait type shots even though I was sitting rather close. Same with the air show that we went to this weekend. We went to an RC radio control air show, so I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be able to zoom in close enough and get those decent shots, but surprisingly it zoomed in rather tightly, and I'll show you those pictures once I get those done. So I would really definitely recommend this lens. It's actually really good lens, very nice, very durable piece of glass to use, especially for this camera. Now moving on to the camera, like I said, this is the Nikon F65. Now one thing that I really like about this camera off the bat is the LCD screen that it has right there. Now when you flick this screen on, of course you has everything that you're shooting in, so it shows you the number of pictures that you're shooting on, the mode that you're shooting in, whether you have your flash on, your flash off, all that type of information that you need comes up on the screen there. So I actually really like that because mainly I hold this around my neck, so when I drop it down I could simply look it up, or I pick it up, I could simply just look on the screen and see all my information there. Another thing that I actually really like about this camera is it gives you the option to have an external flash that you could use, which I do have my external flash, or it gives you the option to do your just a built-in flash that you could use as well. That is my new cat, Pico. Hi, say hi. That is my new cat, Pico. But anyway, yeah, so it also gives you the option of using your built-in flash that it comes with as well. Now the dials on this thing are very easy to use. You simply just have it, and then you could shoot your audio, like your auto, or your, you know, your manual settings, your portrait settings, your settings for, like if you're shooting sports, that type of thing. You have it right there. You of course have your timer button there as well, so if you want to shoot yourself, you could simply just put it on your tripod, which you have your tripod mount right there, and simply just run in front of the camera and take your picture as well. Now one thing that I was worried about was this camera on its own without the lens is actually a really light camera. It's pretty much just made out of a light plastic with thin rubber on it, so I was kind of worried about having a decent piece of glass on the front because I was worried about the glass throwing the camera off. So basically I was worried about the lens being too heavy for the camera and throwing that off a bit. Like I was kind of worried about, you know, holding the camera and then being, because the glass is heavy depending on what you have, so I was kind of worried about it being like, you know, as I was trying to shoot. But you don't really get that with this camera. It kind of balances out when you have your glass on the front, even when you're, you know, fully out, you're not kind of tipping over. I would like to have the camera be a little bit more heavier though, because every time I'm kind of paranoid that if I, you know, drop the thing I'll break it or whatever like that. But other than that, it's actually really nice. One thing I also like about this camera as well is when you have it on and you're of course taking your shots, everybody knows, like when you're shooting 35mm, you have to take your shot, advance your film, take the shot, advance your film, take the shot, advance your film. With this camera, I know it did come out later, you could just shoot, 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 and not worry about advancing the film at all. Now this camera is definitely in great shape for its age. It doesn't have any quirks like my Minolta does. I know when I take a shot with my Minolta, sometimes I have to take off my lens, pull down my mirror, because you have the mirror inside, and then, you know, put it back on, take the shot, advance, you know, that type of thing. But with this, I actually don't. I really enjoy shooting with this. One thing I don't like about this is the size of it. I mean, it is, you know, kind of a bulkier type camera. But so that was kind of the one thing that I was like, I don't really like about it. I still don't really like that too much about it, because I have a lot of gear that I usually take with me when I go out. You know, I take my SX710, my Minolta, this, a bunch of glasses as well. So, you know, I don't really like the size, because, you know, I'm kind of sometimes restricted onto what I could actually take. But all in all, I give this camera about a 6.9 out of 10, 10 being the best camera of life, 1 being complete garbage. And the reason that I give it that 6 is because, like I said, the size, I'm still getting used to the size. The size so far I'm not a great fan of, but, you know, as well as the fact that it's made out of like a thin plastic and that type thing. Other than that, I actually really like this camera. Anyway guys, so if you're in the market for 35mm, definitely get the F65. Definitely check out this lens as well. This is the macro lens. Of course, you have your, like I said, it's a zoom focus lens. You know, let in your lighting, that type thing. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe.